Welcome back to another episode of the Who We Needed podcast by me, Harrison Davis. And today I've got one that I am very passionate about. A topic that I think changed my life. An action that I think allowed me to find happiness, purpose, enjoyment, connection, all different things, to be honest. And that thing is being ourselves. And I'm very aware that that sounds like the most simple and obvious tool or advice or just fact. Be yourself. On the surface, it seems like there's nothing there. But I think there are many, many, many layers to that. So I'm going to get into them. And I'm going to tell you all about them. And this time I've got notes. I think I did last time too, to be honest. But I want to make sure I get this right. Like I said, I think this is one of the most important things that I learn, or I guess dug into in my life. The idea that authenticity is magnetic. The idea that when we are truly ourselves, we start to find the things that are meant for us, or they start to find us. And I guess it starts from when we are very young. And I've talked about this a lot, but I want to talk about it again. As we grow up, when we are young, we want to fit in. We have the tribal mentality. We want everyone to like us. We want our friends to think we're cool. We want everyone to want to be our friend. We want to be part of the group of people that everyone looks at and thinks is the best. Whether that be a huge group or a small group, I honestly look back and think about primary school for me. That's where it starts. The fact that I wanted to be good at sport. Good at sport because everyone thought that was cool. I wanted to wear the brand new school shoes that everyone thought were cool. I wanted to go to the park that everyone thought was the best. I didn't care about my own opinions. I didn't care about what I thought was cool. I didn't care about what shoes were the most comfortable or the best for running around the playground. I didn't care about the park that I loved the most, that was closest to my house. I wanted to do the thing that the cool kids, the cool group did. And I think that is the catalyst to exactly this. To the fact that we grow up and realize that we should just be ourselves. Because look, whether you believe in this sort of stuff or not, I think this is a fact. If we are constantly changing our opinions and our characteristics and our personality and just ourselves in front of each group or person that we meet, if we keep trying to be the cool person, if we keep trying to fit in, if someone says that they believe in this and we agree with them, just because we don't want to stand out, we don't want to cause confrontation, or we don't want to look silly, then after a few years, quite a few years, we grow up and realize that we've lost everything that was actually us. And I think the word weird was huge when we were younger, especially me, my generation, and the people that I was around. Nobody wanted to be weird. And that's why when someone said they liked a certain sweet, everyone copied them. Because we didn't want to be the weird one that liked something else. But the more and more I grow up, the more and more I buy into being myself, I realize that those weird things are actually the things that the people closest to me love about me. They're the things that remind my parents of who I am. They're the things that me and my closest friends laugh about and are interested in. They're the reason that everyone connects with me that does. Because of the weird and wonderful things that make up who I am. But I think that brings me back to the point. Sometimes it is not easy to be ourselves. Sometimes, and I think this happens for a lot of us, we spent so many years trying to fit in, trying to be the one that everyone likes, the cool kid, or being accepted by the cool kids, that we actually don't have any of us left. And I think of a quote, and I might be completely wrong here, because obviously he is not the one that first said this quote, but I'm pretty sure I heard this quote from 50 Cent that says, "A friend to everyone is an enemy to themselves." And I think that sums up what I was talking about perfectly. If we are constantly twisting and changing and shrinking and growing to fit into rooms because we feel like we have to, we forget what our actual form is. We forget who we actually are. We forget what makes us us. We forget the things we love. We forget the reasons we do the things that we do in this life. And I think that's a very dangerous spot. So look, that is why I think we should be ourselves. And I think that's also why I think so many of us are not. Whether we think we are or not, I think more of us are lost than we think, I guess. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I think one of the challenges that I am learning to deal with as I have started this new career is to not shapeshift to those that have maybe a bigger following than me or those that are cooler than me, but to be me, the version of me that got me here. And yes, that's going to grow and evolve, but I think we can feel when that's happening, and we can feel when we are just changing to fit the room, to please the people. So yeah, let's get into it. I want to talk to you about why I feel the need to talk about this. And it relates to what I've just said, because it might be a bit of recency bias that I've found myself trying to fit in a little bit more, trying to make videos or content like other people, trying to wear what other people wear, when it's just an endless cycle of not being fulfilled. But I think it started for me in my football career. I felt like I had to be a certain someone to be a footballer. If you're from the UK, you probably know what that stereotype is. Flash, the new haircut, the expensive clothes, the partying, the sort of playboy show-off kind of vibe. And I think that was part of the reason I got so lost. Because I remember going to the psychologist at football when I first started to fall out of love with it. And I said to her, I just don't feel like I fit in. I don't feel like any of the other lads. Look, they all come from very different backgrounds. We all did, loads of different backgrounds. But my background was surf clothes, being by the sea, skating, the quietness of it all. I didn't really understand the flashiness. And I lost myself in that. And I think that might be one of the biggest reasons to the fact that it didn't work out for me. Because I realised that that was not who I was. And I got to a tipping point and realised that I'd lost everything about me. Trying to be what everyone else, not even what everyone else wanted, but what I thought everyone else wanted. And I look back now, and all of the lads that made it, they were the ones that stayed true to themselves. And that has nothing to do with their football ability. And it has everything to do with the mindset and the fact that they were just themselves. And that took them to success. I know you're probably thinking, how do I be myself then? Every day I wake up, I'm myself, I'm not anyone else. But I guess there are many ways that I came back to myself, and I don't have any answers for you. I don't know exactly what you have to do to find yourself, but I can tell you what I did. And I've talked about this a million times, and I'll talk about it a million more. But I really stripped it back. I really thought about the things that really make me happy. Like I said, I liked being by the sea. And when I moved home, I found myself drawn to that. I spent a lot of time going to the beach by myself, watching the sunset and thinking and figuring out who I wanted to be and what really made me who I was. So I think that's my first point, without even meaning to talk about it, is giving yourselves the space to figure out who you want to be and what you want to do with this life, without the pressure of other people being there to tell you who you should be and what you should do. I think, of course, I dug into my curiosities. I found inspiration in different people and places and decided that I'd give those things a go. Maybe they were quite niche, maybe they were cool. But they were things that felt cool to me. And don't get me wrong, I know running is so cool and popular now, but I think when I started, it was still kind of on the rise. And I really dug into that, and I bought into it. I didn't feel the need to do what everyone else was doing in running. I just did what I wanted to do. And kind of tried to be a better version of myself in that. I started to skate again. I started to be honest with the people around me. And when I met new people, I wasn't showing them a front. I was raw and I was honest with them and myself. I think it's a good point to say now that I feel like I have the best connections with the people around me that I've ever had before. My friends now feel like family to me. I think a lot of that is on the basis that I am completely myself around them and they are completely themselves around me. There's no feeling of needing to be perfect. There's no judgment. There's no competition. And I think that's probably the most important point, is that each interaction we have with anyone, whether that be a new friend, whether that be the person serving us at the coffee shop, each one of those chances or opportunities is an opportunity to be ourselves, to not feel like we have to put on an act, because that carries across and it confuses us in our subconscious, in our mind. It tells us we're someone that we're maybe not. So I think honesty is really the best policy. Catch yourself. Maybe if you're trying to over exaggerate something that happens to make someone think it's cool, maybe you try to over explain yourself to people. I think leave those things behind. Be honest. Because it's not just best for you and that person and that relationship, but it's best for the relationship with yourself. That is what authenticity really is. And that is what leads us to all of the things that are meant for us. How can the things that are meant for you find you if you aren't being you? The answer is they can't. If we are constantly wearing a mask, trying to be perfect, trying to prove a point, trying to fit in with everyone else, then we are wearing a mask and hiding ourselves from the things that are really meant for us. And that is not good. Now look, I know it's not easy. Most people might hear that you should be yourself and think that's obvious and that's simple, but it's not. There are layers to it. And being honest with yourself is a tough, tough place to be, because it reveals the insecurities, the mistakes, and the failures. But I think that is where real connection with ourselves and with those around us and with the opportunities that are meant for us can happen. Look, some people, most people, won't believe in a lot of the things I believe in. The fact that things are meant for us, the fact that there are things out there that are trying to find us, there are people out there that are meant for us, and places that feel like home to us. But we have to be us. And if you're sat there and you don't believe in that, I was once there too. But I didn't really have another choice. I'd ran out of options. I'd ran out of other ways to do it. And I thought, why not? Why not believe in that? And as I believed that all the things that were meant for me were going to come to me, as I believed that I was really lucky, as I believed that everything was going to work out for me, they started to. And I met my best mates. I found the things that I love, and I started a new career. Authenticity is magnetic. Your superpower is being you. Your superpower is not blending into every room that you're in. It's not hiding away. It's not being part of a crowd. Your superpower is you. All the crazy, weird little things that make up who you are, the experiences that you've been through, the heartbreak, the failures, the mistakes, the successes, the wins, the experiences. All of those things make you you. And if you're hiding them, how can anyone love you? How can anyone connect to you? Even yourself. If you find yourself right now questioning who you are and what you want to do in this life, I think you should strip it back. Maybe you should journal. Maybe you should write down some of the things that you used to want to do. Maybe you should write down the things that you loved as a kid. Maybe you should write down the things that you want to do or want to try, and you don't know if they're for you or not. But in doing that, as you tick them off the list, whether they are or they aren't for you, at least you're figuring something out. And be honest with yourself. If you're not enjoying it because you're nervous, if you're not feeling connected because you're worried, realize that. Be brave and keep trying. I feel like I've spoken about this topic so much that I don't want to ramble on. But I think it is true in all of the people that I know that are successful or happy. When I meet them, I don't look at them and see any doubt in who they are. I see no mask, I see no front, I see no ego. They are exactly who they are in every single room that they are in. I think we should all be like that. We should walk into every single room that we can, or that we go into, thinking that we were sent there on purpose, to be us. We should stop shape-shifting to please other people. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. This might be the shortest podcast ever, but I'm happy with how I've put that across. You should be yourself so that the things and people and places that are looking for you can find you. Be honest with yourself. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop trying to be a friend to everyone, and be a friend to yourself. Do the things you love. Stop worrying about what other people think. Just be you. Because you deserve to find everything that is meant for you. I appreciate you for listening. I'm enjoying making these. I'm sorry this one's a little bit late, but I've been busy. So yeah, being you is your superpower. Please don't ever forget that. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here.